Some of the educators from Pop Art had the opportunity to attend a workshop at Morningside Academy in Seattle. We'd like to share a few observations from that experience that we believe could benefit educators across BC. Throughout the video, you'll see a chalkboard appear with key points inspired by what we learned from the Morningside team. As you watch, take note of these key ideas and afterward, reflect on how they might support your own practice and your students' success. Now, let's hear from the staff and students at Morningside Academy.
Morningside serves a few different functions. So it was founded in 1980 by Dr. Kent Johnson. It started as a learning center, and then because kids were successful, families pushed for it to become a school. And Kent had been in academia very briefly. His idea was he wanted to be out with children, figuring out what works, how to teach kids to be more effective learners. And so after his brief stint in academia, he was like, this is not for me. I want to work with children. So he started this learning center, parents pushed to become a school, and really from there, it kind of turned into this laboratory school, really in the tradition of like John Dewey, early 20th century philosopher, educational activist, who really is really kind of the intellectual founding for this school. So in Seattle, Morningside functions as a laboratory, or as really a catch-up school for kids who are struggling. We serve a population of kids who are generally the kids who would be identified in public schools as needing Tier 2 academic intervention, diagnosis like ADHD, a lot of executive functioning challenges, some mild autism. These are kids that we call the forgotten 40%. They are kids who should be doing fine in school, average to above average IQs, but they're not. They fall through the cracks, they struggle year in and year out, and kind of each year they get further and further behind. And school is just an unpleasant place for them. There's no reason why they should be in the position that they're in, but unfortunately school has not been fun. So the kids come here, they spend 2 to 3 years getting intensive catch-up instruction, focusing primarily on reading, writing, math, and then the skills that one needs to be a successful learner. So we focus a lot on executive functioning skills. So teaching students learning skills, organization skills, and citizenship skills. So really teaching them how to be a successful student. So when they transition back to public or private schools, they will be successful like they should have been from the outset.
At my other school, I could really not read, and it wasn't fun for me either. And now here I'm like, it's fun, I like it. I just passed off to a 7th grade text, and I'm in 5th grade. So I think that's pretty cool. And at home, I'm reading Harry Potter, and I look for comic books on my Kindle as well, to look at those and read them.
The practices I think are most effective at Morningside are the fact that we use scripted, explicit, direct instruction programs. We also test all of the kids before the school year starts so that they can be placed in homogeneous classes.
We don't have traditional grade levels. So kids are put in classes based on their strengths and weaknesses. So kids start at Morningside the first 7 or 8 days. They're coming from all over the city. They learn about Morningside. They learn about the kids in their community. It's just kind of this makeshift community that shifts year in and year out. So they spend a lot of time community building, learning classroom routines, and then really what they're doing mostly though is assessment. So we can figure out exactly what skills they are proficient at, which ones they're shaky with, and which ones are completely absent. And then we can form classes based on similar strengths and weaknesses or similar academic needs. So all of the classrooms in Morningside are mixed grade. A typical classroom is like 2 to 3 years in terms of age difference. So we may have a bunch of 4th, 5th, and 6th graders that are all together studying a 3rd or 4th grade curriculum. So that's really one of the most important parts of what we do, is the kids are grouped based on what they need, not based on how old they are.
Morningside blends direct instruction and precision teaching to get students from having no skills to mastery. And I think that smooth transition and utilizing both in the classroom has been super effective for students. So we use direct instruction to teach the concept, and we use a lot of corresponding. We make sure every student has a chance of responding, and we make sure that students have lots of opportunities to respond during direct instruction, make sure that they really master that skill to accuracy, and then we transition into precision teaching, where now they practice being fluent at it. So they're not just accurate, but they're becoming more confident, more fluent, fast, smooth, comfortable through these repeated practices and timed practices. And students who didn't believe in themselves that they could do it, what they would do at the end of PT, when they see that, oh, now I can do it. I can do these many 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication with regrouping under 1 minute timing, and they kind of become very amazed at themselves, and it's really great to watch that.
I think I really like how they do the teaching here, and the fluency timings are definitely very good and helpful. And our teacher would do a 1 minute timing, and we would do as many as we could, answer as many as we could in in that time space. And then if you're able to do enough in 1 minute, you can pass off and go to a higher level.
Mastery is an interesting conversation. Not enough people in schools care about mastery to begin with. So a lot of people are good enough if kids, the kids just move through the curriculum. If they can get their kids to like 90 to 100% accuracy on a skill, people are usually like, wow, that's amazing. They got an A on the test. Accuracy is halfway there towards mastery. You need to have a speed component. So fluency is the measure of, you can do it accurately, but can you do it as quickly as you need to for that skill to be used in other meaningful situations? So if I can do 5 math facts in a minute, and you can do 100 in a minute, those are both 100% accurate performances. So if I said, well, we're both perfect at math facts, we can answer all of our math facts correctly, that really obscures the fact that you can do 100 and I can do 5. And we all know that would look very, very different. Most kids in schools know their math facts. You get up to middle school and high school, they know what 7 plus 8 is. They know what 8 times 7 is, but it takes them a while to think about it, or they got to rely on a finger counting strategy. So yes, they're accurate, but that skill is so slow that it's not useful in any meaningful way. So that we can't kind of hide speed, right? So when we build fluency, it's not about going fast, and that's an important distinction. We do want the performances, whatever it is we're working on, to get quicker, but it's about those performances being as quick as necessary for the skill to be useful in other classes, in other parts of the curriculum, and outside of the school setting, right? The whole point of this is to get these skills to be useful and sustainable in kids' actual lives.
So students practice their math facts as in 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 minus 2 is 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. All of that, we call those fact families, and they practice writing down those facts really fast, so that it becomes kind of an automatic response, so that when they have to do computation, they're not sitting there counting with their fingers or drawing lines or circles on their paper. They can just pop it out like that. And same for times divide. So they practice those during our fluency block, and they do it with their partners. They set up a 1 minute timer with their partners, and they start it, and they go as fast as they can in 1 minute, and they check each other's work, and they chart it. And on the chart, they can see over time how they're improving, and that's a really great thing about charting, is that kids can see their own progress and own improvement.
So when you're doing fluency practice, you're charting all of that on a daily basis. And so the goal is to drop the dots in session on the daily chart, and then you have an aim line that goes up to the goal that you're eventually aiming for. So you set daily goals for the kids, and you know within session on a daily basis if they need intervention. So if they're not on track to earn their daily goal, you can see that right away, and you can teach the kids rules to ask for help. So if you have 2 dots below your aim line, they're gonna ask for help because they're not on track to meet their goal that day. And if you have 2 days below your aim line on the daily chart, you know you need to do something. So you're going to go and observe that kid a little more closely, see what's going on, and then provide a really targeted intervention. And that's extremely effective. You don't have to wait for them to fail on a test to know that they are struggling with a certain very specific skill.
The students at the very beginning of the day will always come in with a daily support card. They set up the subject and activities that we're doing for the day, as well as their aims, which are the points that they're trying to earn throughout the day for citizenship, academics, learning skills, and organization. I adjust the aims as we need, so that way if we need to work on transitioning between activities, the aim might be higher. If we need to work on following together on the page, the aim might be higher. As they meet those expectations, that's what you'll see me buzzing around with the purple pen, and I'll give them a mark for meeting each expectation, or I might give them feedback or additional comments if they do something really well, or if there's something that they need to work on. And that changes from subject to subject. If they earn all of their points, at the end of the day, we do a big O checkout. And an equals means that they met all their expectations. A check means that they were pretty close, and checks are still good. The kids may tell you otherwise that checks are not as good as equals. And a minus is if they don't meet expectations, it's just something to work on for the next day. So it's a good communication tool for parents as well. They can take a look at their kids' day at a glance.
Then we also partner with public and private schools, primarily in North America, but now we're doing some work with some schools in Europe, in Iceland and Italy. And really that's really kind of the primary goal of Morningside, is to run this laboratory school to help children, but in order to figure out what works so that we can help a much broader population of children. So really why this exists is so that we can go partner with schools around the world and help them bring evidence and research-based practices into their school settings, so that they can, those kids that we get at Morningside, that there's millions of those kids around the world. We want those kids to be successful in their public school setting or their private school setting, and not require a place like Morningside to help them out. So really, it's like this, the school here allows us to do the broader work of helping teachers, administrators, kind of everywhere, provide the most effective instruction for kids.
What I've probably learned the most about Morningside is I used to not be able to do times and divide, which would stress me out. And I've gotten a lot better at math and reading and stuff. I could read some words, but it was harder. And it really just gave me that push I needed. I feel a lot better at Morningside. My old school just wasn't giving me that motivation I do have now. And I feel like within a shorter amount of time, I've already improved a lot more. And yeah.
Did you get all those key points written down? Please say them back to me. I'm looking for some choral response here and full participation. We hope you're able to take some key points from what we learned from the Morningside team that can help you and your learners, and particularly those learners with autism. It wasn't mentioned in the video, but many of these same concepts can be applied to both Tier 1 and Tier 3 students as well. Reach out to us and reach out to the Morningside team if you have more questions. Thanks for watching.